For any of you guys, did it seem like your shooting touch was contagious? Because almost every one of you guys were able to either match or surpass your season high, especially at the three-point line. So what was kind of going on there?
Honestly, it was just playing for each other. You know, it's something we've done since June. It's something that we've prided ourselves on as being a very unselfish team. And I think that, you know, credit to each and every one of these guys was finding each of us in the spots where we were available and we were open and just making the right play at the right time. So that's all it really was.
Keshon, can you walk us through what was going through your mind and how that kind of dagger shot that you hit played out?
In the first half, we ran the same play, and they two came to me, and I had kicked to Milan, but they kind of guarded it a little different. I really ain't had nowhere to go, so I hit him with a little move, and I just shot it, and I was lucky enough for it to go in.
Trey, what gave you the confidence early on to just keep pulling up from the corners, anywhere really behind the three-point line?
Just really taking what was given to me. You know, it was one thing we talked about, you know, in preparing for this game is, you know, a lot of guys were going to help off of me because they didn't think I could shoot the ball. So, you know, one thing that Coach TJ and Coach Crawford really talked to me about was, you know, if they sag off, if it's the right shot in the right time, take it and make it and shoot it with confidence. And, you know, credit to these guys for, you know, continuing to find me when I was hot. So.
Tamin, how difficult is it to stop them from going on big runs? I know they had a 7-0 run late, but you guys always had an answer, it felt like, whenever they tried to get something going.
They're a super solid team. They like to play in transition. They move the ball super well, attacking gaps and just sharing the ball. So they did a great job being able to hang with us. We wanted to break it open, but they made runs. We were able to sort of trade buckets with them in that segment. So we were able to pull away at the end. But just playing in that atmosphere, you think every shot you're taking is going in just because of how loud the fans are, and the vibe and the whole arena is just so good that you take all the shots with confidence.
Keshon, you are obviously going to get a lot of attention for the three you hit, but you had two back-to-back layups, I think, with less than 3 minutes. Can you just kind of explain to me how those came about and the energy that those kind of gave you guys as a team?
I think the main reason that came about is because, you know, we turned our defense into offense. So, you know, we got in transition. That's something that we talk about every day is, you know, turning our defense into offense. And I was just the one that received the passes in transition.
Tamin, the three-point shooting today is more than I think Iowa State made since TJ's been here at least. Why? I mean, did you guys see something in the scouting report, or what was it?
We just got great shooters, and we share the ball at such a high level that we get great shots all the time. And we're able to attack gaps. Me, Key, and the other guards are able to get in there and kick it out to open shooters. Trey was hot tonight, and then Kurt and Milan always hitting shots. So it's just being able to play off of each other and always looking for your teammate, really.
Tamin, you mentioned wanting to break it open. Was there any moment where you thought you had broken it open and they came back?
You always sort of think as a player that you're sort of pulling away, but at the end of the day, we know that no one gives up without a fight in the Big 12. They're always gonna come back and fight. So I think if there was a moment, it was right before they hit back-to-back threes. We were feeling good, and we had a bounce back from those two bad possessions from our side.
Tamin, you guys have now beaten Houston and Kansas at home. You've got a couple road wins in the Big 12. How much do you feel like this team can accomplish going ahead forward in Big 12 play?
Our standard is the top of the Big 12, and that's what we're competing for every day. That's what we've worked for since this summer. We've put in countless hours in the gym and together off the court. So we expect the most from ourselves and each other as a team, and I'm looking for big things out of us continuing on this season.
I don't care which one answers this, if anybody answers it. The narrative of the week since Kansas State, or some of the narrative at least. How were you guys able to block that out?
I mean, it's just noise. At the end of the day, we know what we do. We know what our habits are. We know what our character is. So, you know, we don't really let that stuff affect us. You know, when you live in truth, people can say what they want to say, but at the end of the day, we know what we do. We know we do well. So, at the end of the day, our habits and our character takes over in these games like this that, you know, are really the culmination of that. And, you know, you see teams break off when things like that happen, but when adversity hits, we come together. So,
for all three of you, talk about what the court storming was like.
Shout out to the fans.
I'll go first.
Y'all do it every time.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they were
every
storming the
time.
court. They haven't done that in a while, I don't think. So I was already in the handshake line, and I couldn't get out the handshake line, so I just had to go through it like it was normal. But I know some other guys were able to get in there with the fans and enjoyed a good time. So.
I mean, it's special. You know, shout out to them. A lot of them have been camping out since Wednesday for this game. So just knowing the anticipation and the energy that they were going to bring, really just up the ante for us. And so, being able to be in that environment and then just to see them come and celebrate with us is really special. Like, as soon as the buzzer went off, I look up and it's just a crowd of people, and I'm just like,
bro,
I
I
was
didn't see
overwhelmed.
him.
Like, I couldn't. It's truly special. It's the first time I've ever, had the opportunity to have the court stormed, and it was just really special because it was in Hilton. So.
This can be for anyone, but Keshon.
No, I already said what I said. Shout out to the fans. That's all I got to say. Shout out to the fans. Yeah, they know what they be doing.
All right, Keshon. Well, I've got a question for you about the fans. Have you adjusted to playing in this type of atmosphere?
I say yeah. For the most part, it's still like it'd be kind of crazy when I walk in and the student section still already filled before anybody else in the arena. But I say for the most part, yeah, I done adjusted pretty well.
Does your game reflect that when you're playing at home? Do you play with a different type of bounce or confidence?
Say it again.
Does your play when you're at home, does it feel more energetic? Does it feel more bouncy?
I say it felt better playing at home, obviously, just because we got the whole Hilton behind us, but it's the same thing every game. Trying to compete every game. It ain't nothing different, really.
I think somebody got one more. We got one more. Let's say we got one more. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
All right, guys. No questions.
That sequence entering halftime with the flagrant foul, technical, all that. Just in the grand scheme of things, how do you think that kind of affected where you guys were at emotionally and in the course of the game?
Well, I wish I wouldn't have got a technical. It cost us 1 point, because they got the ball back anyway on the flagrant. But still, though, that was a big play. And I haven't seen it. It may have been a good call. I know that it wasn't anything malicious or anything like that, but it may have been a good call. But certainly, it was a 4-point play. Because they made 1 out of 2 on the technical, and then they got the ball back. Whether it be a technical or flagrant 1, they still get the ball back, and then they made the 3 at the end.
Bill, Iowa State made, I don't know how many, 14 three-pointers tonight.
A lot.
A lot. Why were they able to do that?
Well, partly scouting report. We decided to put Hunter on King and dare him to shoot, and he made 4. Other than that, it wasn't scouting report. We switched a lot. We should have been able to get the shooters better, but give them credit. They a lot of it was, could we have done better? Yes. A lot of it was they made shots they hadn't been making statistically this year, and we played the percentages thinking coming up here that'd be the smart play, and we could eliminate some ball screen stuff by switching, and they made us pay for it. They did. They shot it great.
Bill, what was your message to the team in the locker room?
I was actually encouraged. That's the best offense we've run in a while. You score 75 points against Iowa State in their building, it should be enough. We did some good things. We didn't make shots. They outscored us, 21 points from beyond the arc. But I thought we hung in there and did some good things offensively. Defensively, we weren't any good, but we rebounded the ball better second half. We did some good stuff. They were just better. And certainly they made us pay. I don't know how many shots they made, in the last 5 seconds of the shot clock, but, they made us pay there late.
You mentioned the offense there. How important was DeJuan in that, and do you feel like that's his best game in a while?
Well, I thought DeJuan played well. His numbers don't really determine, at least in my mind, if he has a good game or not. It's one stat only, and we didn't get it done. But I thought he did have a good game for the most part. We did a really good job of taking care of the ball, and we had 2 just careless turnovers in the second half that led to uncontested layups. And you can't get your defense back when you have live ball turnovers. And for the most part, we did a good job, but they got us on a couple. and which were big. But you know, even when they were, I think they went through a stretch where they scored on 7 of 8 possessions, and then a stretch where they scored on 7 of 10 possessions. And even then, you know, we hung around and still had a chance at the end, you know, cutting it to 2. But you know, obviously just, you know, didn't make enough plays.
Bill, one of your players, or maybe it was one of the Iowa State players, I don't know, said that the Big 12 champion could have as many as 5 conference losses. Why is the Big 12 so good?
Well, I think the teams are good, and you got good coaches in our league too. You know, we got a nice team, and we've shown this year we can beat anybody. Connecticut, Tennessee, Kentucky, we can beat anybody. We've also shown this year anybody can get us for the most part. But there's no anybody's in our league. Everybody's good. If West Virginia folks had the 3 kids that got eligible late the whole year long, they'd be on an NCAA bubble team right now. This league is a monster. You know, I think, you know, I don't know, what's Iowa State 5-2 and Tech's 4-1 if I'm not mistaken, or 5-1, I can't remember, and then Houston's 5-2 or something like that. It's, you know, it seems like to me it's like that every year. You know, we've had some success and won the league a few times, but it seems like to me we're a game or 2 behind at some point in time throughout the year, throughout all the years anyway. And certainly this year will be harder because our schedule is tougher than a lot of teams' schedule the second half. So, you know, we got to go steal 1 or 2 that maybe some think that would be a long shot, but it's just good players, and our league is old.
You've obviously had a lot of success in Big 12 play since coming to Kansas. What is it about this Iowa State team that makes you think, as an opposing coach, they could potentially contend at the top of the league?
Well, you know, Iowa State historically, you guys know them better than me, have had as good of players as anybody in our league during certain stretches. When they had Nader and Nas and George and Monty and all those cats, I mean, that's as good as our league has had, including us. I don't think that Iowa State's personnel is like that. I think that the coaching staff has done such a great job of getting them to play together and play tough and play hard. And let's call it like it is. People talk about our building being, you know, we don't get credit for winning in our building because our building's so good. Hey, that's a bunch of crap. But Hilton Coliseum is good too. And whenever you got good teams that are connected and tough play at home, and there's a crowd and support like this, it's going to take a special effort by somebody to win. And so, sure, I think they can do it. I think they can be right there at the end.
Along those lines, I think everybody's realizes the realities of scheduling in the new Big 12, but does the league lose something that they're not going to play a return game at your guys' place this year?
I actually think I could be wrong on this, okay? I think the winning the league mindset with players and fans is different than it was when you knew you're playing everybody twice. I mean, we're playing Baylor twice. We're playing Houston twice. I mean, we're playing Oklahoma twice, who's been in the top 10. You know, we're playing our rival K-State twice. I was in the Big Ten when it's an unbalanced league. A lot of times the favorite in the league is depending on who you get at home and who you get on the road. To me, it's going to be a fabulous league. Whoever wins the league, you know, should be a 1 seed. That's how I see it, regardless. But I don't think it has the same meaning, at least when you go into a locker room and you have the standings up there and it's uneven and you're not playing the same people. I don't think it has the same bearing right now as what it's had in years past.
Bill, we've talked to you plenty about your bench, but the sort of flip side of that, how worried are you about the minutes for those 5 starters?
Well, obviously, you know, it's hard to go to the bench. We actually played a lot of guys the first half, you know, and played them early, and they hung in there and did some good things. But to win the game, I thought we had to play the starters. Yeah, you know, it's obviously a concern, but I do think this. I think that, you know, we don't pressure defensively. We don't do some things that maybe a team with a deep bench would do. So I think you can play these guys a little bit more minutes than what a lot of people think you can, but still yet it's a concern.
And Hunter talked about just communication. When there is communication, everything's much better. I mean, that seems pretty basic, but do you think that's an issue defensively with this team?
I thought today we're switching 5, and a guard gets frustrated because their guards are lighting us up, so he fights through to try to stay, and it's a switch, and it leaves the roll open. There's too many things like that. I don't think the trust is there for us defensively the same way it is for Iowa State defensively right